Hello my friends, we started our long and I hope that a happy journey about playing for the Locomotive Moscow in a Football Manager 2019. So it's time for the get it in and plan a new career where there is no actually even the thinking is about what we'll be choosing for. In a way that I am the fan of the Locomotive Moscow team, so we'll be playing only for the Locomotive Moscow team as long as the board will be staying with us and thinking that we are able for the bring the glory for the club. Yep. So it's time for the making some changes, I guess, and yeah, we are not using the in-game editor in a way that we didn't have it at all, but this is the one thing that I am not actually interested for. The game is pretty nice and pretty balanced, I guess, so it's the one thing that is no needed to making for is cheating. So we'll be trying to bring some new countries, I guess, so we'll be trying to get in there. I'm not sure about the China and India. Okay, maybe the China in a way that I'll be trying to bring the most rated championships. So it's the most rated leagues that we are needed to playing with, and I hope you will be not be ill about not choosing some kind of the country, because it's it's needed to thinking about the limit in the way that we are choosing a lot for right now. The process of the game will be very long and will be always from the start it will be not working at so slowly, but after the 1 year that it will be the very long playing for the putting that on a pattern for the next tour, and it will be waiting a lot, so it's no needed for us, right? And yeah, I'll be trying to choose it almost everywhere. I needed to choose the first league in the way that we are playing in the first league, and actually we are not pretty interested about players in another league, so it's all about that, I guess. If you get in the very nice computer and get in the everything well, I guess it's all about you, but actually for me it's not pretty interested to looking for. So yeah, in a way we'll be playing only in a Russian Premier League. In that way I choosing only the view only for all the teams we got, and in that way we'll be bringing that I hope we'll be finding a lot of the players, and they still will be available for us, but only for the view. And yeah, we cannot play for that countries and for that leagues, but we are not interested in it. For right now we'll be playing only for Locomotive Moscow and holding it on that club. So it's the first start we are playing for. Actually I think we can add some more leagues in that way, maybe India, sure about South Korea, how about the Chile, Colombia, yeah, maybe all the South America, and maybe the Belarus too, why not? So yeah, okay, let's trying to find what we are bringing for, and we are needed to put it one more time for the only the river and only for the view only, and only for the first league we are needed for. Yeah, of course, it's there's still the small chance that you can find a very beautiful player in a low league, but this is nothing about when we are talking about the comfort for the plane, so it's not the same risk, I guess, for the thinking about it. And I will be trying to play in that style. I started in the early pre-season. We are trying to bring all the players we are needed for, and bringing them. Yeah, the one thing more where I can also use it is coming for the nations and ask about for the Russian players more. And we got it in from the players from the nationality, and so in that way we'll be trying to bring the more players, right? The more players from the Russian region, even they play in some other countries for another leagues. We'll be trying to still be sure that we'll be in our list, and we can not in our list, but we can try to find them, and we'll be able for bringing for our club, for example. It's a nice story, I guess. Maybe we'll be trying to bring the Golovin from the Monaco. Who knows? Yeah, it's the big the big dream, I guess, for any club in Russia, for bringing the Golovin and playing with a Russian club. Yep. So it's all about what they're making for in other countries. They are making their career much finer than in Russia, I guess, in a way that the championship in Russia is actually not the baddest in the world, and if you remember it, only one that started in 19th, it was not the pretty best football, in a way that there was not a lot of the money coming for the clubs, and they got in not the best stadiums, not the best things for the players. So, but right now we can, in a way that I am looking for the Russian Premier League, and I see the much more high level than it was, and I think for right now it's the highest level of the Russian Premier League. They're playing pretty well. I'm sure we are still in 10 places of the world, and it's all about the FIFA, how they're rated for us for right now. But I'm thinking that it's very good for the fans, in a way that we are looking for the very interesting games, and the championship is not about only the one team who is able for the fighting for the first place. Yes, Zenit is a very strong team. They have a lot of the money, but it's not all about that, and the football actually is not all about that. There are still a lot of the teams that are trying to fight for the first place, and it's looking amazing, I guess, and for the fans and for the neutral fans also, it's one of the greatest stories for the looking for the football, and see how the players fight on the field. I guess it's one of the best things that we needed to look in a football, that playing fighting by the rules, of course, on the field for their club, and trying to find out who is the best for right now. and of course sometimes coming for some luck here, but football is a football, and a score is a score after the whistle. Everybody will be looking only for the score, not for the game. And this is one of the thing in the strategy in the football that we are liking too. So yep, a little bit story about football in Russia, I guess. What about the Locomotive Moscow? I find it that club in the 19th. Yeah, maybe in the 2000s. It was a time when in Russian Premier League was a very strong team, the Spartak Moscow, who's playing well in playing every year, getting the championship every year. So it's very strong and very hard was playing against them. And I'm just was playing in the yard, and just a child who was coming for the TV and looking for what the clubs playing on the TV in the Russian Premier League. And I seen that the house playing the Locomotive, and I don't remember who was a commentator of it, but it was talking about that the new team is playing in a different style, and they're playing on the counter-attacks, and in that way they're trying to bring the glory for the club and taking a win. And there was actually pretty nice about it. And when they were looking for in a game, it was a defending, and then everybody understand it is not the best club in Russian Premier League, but after they defended, they always trying to make it a counter-attack, and that counter-attack was planned and trained well by the Yuri Somin, one of the best chiefs of the Locomotive Moscow of the all years. It's the real legend of the club, and almost all the winnings about the championship and the Russian Cup. That was on when Yuri Somin was on the rule, and where he was on the chief of the club. So it's a real legend. They have a pretty love from the fans, and I think that is real story of the man who is coming for the maybe the usual club for that time, and making them the very strong club for the playing against the others. So it's all about that, I guess. And right now we are talking about and looking for the profile of Alexander Lightning, actually me. So it's I will be playing without the coaching qualifications known as a all for right now, and I have a little bit things for about the semi-professional football in the way I was playing in only the half of the year for the club that we are making by ourselves. And I was playing in a mini football for a little time, and after that we are getting out. But I was playing for in non-professional football, the semi-professional, I guess it was. We was playing against the strong team from the factories in the city. It was a mini football. It was only the 5 players on the field, but I was playing. I wasn't in best form, of course. I was just coming back from the studies, and wasn't playing, wasn't have a practice for the 3 years. We just got it in, So it's This story not about me, it's all about the Locomotive Moscow. They're getting started, and for right now, Alexander Lighting is a new manager of the Locomotive Moscow team. So it's needed to come in for and looking for our new club. So it's time for the talking with Ilya Gerko, the chairman. I would like to welcome for the Locomotive Moscow. The board hope able to ignore the media claims that you are not too inexperienced for this job. Actually, I'm inexperienced, so I get it no experience for the playing for and not playing for, but how to be the chief in the club and making everything. It's the first time we are coming for, and thinking that all of the fans will be angry about that. Who is that? Who is that man who was coming for? What is it needed to? What he will be making for our club? What's going on actually? How it's able for the making it? Who is made it? Who is the main in the story? So the exceptions of the upcoming season, it's some kind of reaching. Yeah, we got it 1 year contract for the $58,000 per month. Yeah, it's beautifully for the young specialist, I guess. I got in the director of football, the Eric Staffelhaus. Yeah, we're talking about the long players. The staff members from the previous regime have been retained, but they will all accept the mutual termination of their contract should you wish to bring in your own backroom team. Of course, I'll be trying to find the best coaches for the team that I like. So we'll be trying to looking for who will be staying and who will be going out. In order to aid with transition, Ilya Gerko, the club chairman, and your assistant manager Alek Pashin would like to hold meetings with regarding the club's history and delegation of the staff responsibilities. Attending just Pashinin's meeting will signal your attention not to meet the board at the time. I will be talking about the I'm busy for the talking. Actually, I will trying to talk with all guys that we can talking for. So it's a new team and new players, and we are needed to get in a meeting and talking about Alexander. Welcome to the real way mean. So it's a locomotive team. The real will mean is all about that. I would like to take the few minutes of your time to welcome you to the club before the handing over the assistant manager who is going to discuss the staff responsibilities with you. And I also wanted to assure that you have a full package of the board and would have hired if we didn't feel that you were the right person to propel the club forward. Yeah, it's great that you're still thinking about it. Locomotive Moscow, absolutely, the club is a long story, so we'll be trying to find new stories about the club. Wanted to mention about welcome message. Talking about the philosophies. Yeah, we can change about some philosophies. I guess we're trying to bring in something new for the club. A press conference, of course, needed to talk for the press and saying that it's very important. I needed to thinking about a little bit, talking for the press and that story. Thanks for the answering my questions. I'm going to hand out the assistant manager. Yes, we are talking for. Hi, Alexander. I'm Alek Pashin. Alek Pashin actually is another one star for the Locomotive Moscow. Another legion. He was playing for the Locomotive Moscow all the times and almost all the years. So it's a real legion for the club, and it's pretty well that he's assistant manager. He's asking about the playing, finding that trying to friend the game against our youngest players. So I think it's no needed for it now. So what is it, the wider report regarding the team? Yeah, it's a pretty well information, I guess. Would like to me arrange meeting the rest of your staff where we will discuss the current state of the club and provide advice. Yes, we will talking for the staff, talking about the next the players that get in the ending their contract soon, and trying to ask for the opposition's instructions. I think I'm not well about that, and I think that's enough for the talking with Oleg Pashinin and Ilya Gerkus also. So we can be happy about it. We got it for the coming for the club and getting a lot of the information still, but the first thing that we are coming for, we can looking for our home menu. We can changing it. For example, we can bring in here. I think in the Liga table will be here. The player stats. It's pretty nice information, I guess. About the ball confidence, I'm not sure we are needed to looking for too much, and I think that maybe the promises is a much important here to finding it for the every time. So when you're playing, you sometimes you will get in there some stories with the players, and they will be asking for you, and you can, if you don't want to big a problem in your collective, in your team, you will be giving the promises. So if you're not making your promise well, it will be the very bad for the you and for the club. So we'll be trying to looking for it much important for right now. Yeah, the finance and salary is very important, and it's pretty well that there you can see the available wage budget. It's pretty nice information. If you're coming for the finances and trying to find it, that available wage budget, you cannot find it easily. I'm not sure where it's exactly finding for. Yeah, you can calculate it in that wage budget and currently spending actually, but it's pretty well when you get in the information of how much you got it for the wage. But actually it's much important for right now and for every time, I guess. It's all about the trainings, but not only the training, but the team injuries, team stat, team training performance, training sessions, breakdown, competitions, medical center. Yes, the information from medical center can be very important in the way that sometimes they will be trying to, so we are making it, yes, by the getting some news. Oh yeah, the Selman leaves the Locomotive Moscow just a moment ago. Oops, yeah, something did it for the Yuri Somin, and there is actually some candidates here who can changing the Yuri Somin, and they're thinking about it for right now, about the Dmitry Khalov, Tamarov, and Vichar. I know that Khalov is a pretty well player. He was playing for the Locomotive Moscow team. I guess it's one of the interesting players who can change it in real life. The Yuri Somin. About the Yuri Somin changing, yes, it was not a pretty story when he's coming out from the club in a real life. So it's maybe we'll be trying to talking about it in some game thinkings, but I'm sure that the Yuri Somin is a legend of the Locomotive Moscow team, and I'm sure he's needed much more attention about it and much more things from the club actually, even for right now. As I know, he's still not gathered any club, and I'm sure he's only thinking about Locomotive Moscow successfully doing anything. So we got it in training performance. I was talking about the promises. Yes. So we're trying to find in that story. We already got it in about the inbox. We got in all mails, all messages in that game. So it's time for looking for our squad. Actually, the squad is the main thing for the team, and we can looking for general info or a contract. Actually, I was trying to find in the financial information if we are interested for, but right now we'll be looking for just general info. We got it in the much important information about the position, nationality of the player. Yeah, we got it in some limits in the club in the Russian Premier League. For right now, we'll be playing only the 6 players on the field from the different nations. So it's important to have a balance about the Russian players and players from another nations. Yeah, so you get it, the usual information about the height, weight, age, and the value of the player. So when you're only coming for being a manager, for example, and you are only looking for the game, the easiest way to understand which the player is better is value, but it's actually not working about like that. Sometimes the player cannot be getting the big value, but he's a pretty well player by his statistics. So we gathered in the technical, mental, and physical stats, and we'll be looking for them and trying to talking about it. For example, for the Fyodor Smolov is advanced forward. So if we are choosing here the different styles, we are finding that the advanced forward is getting here is the green changing and blue changing colors. So it's green is all about the much important and less important, but still is blue color and the blue stats of that player. So we are still thinking that the dribbling, finishing, and first touch is very important for the advanced forward. Yeah, and passing skills is not too much, but still important in a way that he is sometimes in his game he will be have a situations where it is better to making a pass. So the passing skill is all about what kind of the pass and what kind of the quality of the pass they will be making for. It's very close with the techniques. So the finishing is also much important here for the technical skills. I think in the technique and the finishing is much important in that way. The first touch is important, but sometimes you can find the player without the very best first touch, but very nice finishing is also all about the things that you will be using for. But you need to thinking about what kind of the game, what kind of the tactics you're using for, what kind of the players, all about that player will be on the field. So it's pretty nice and pretty important, and it's pretty cool about it's a very clever game, I guess. And yes, sometimes they're talking about that you get it in, the Excel stats, Excel tables, and you are playing with that. But yes, it's all about the mathematics, and you needed to check it out. There's some kind of the players you are get it for, and you are needed to select the different individual things for each player, each role, his position, get it on, each each tactics you are using for. So it's pretty nice when you get it all those puzzles in, and it works well. It's pretty nice that you got it understanding of the game and understanding of the tactics you're using for, and understanding of the what kind of the players you are needed for to bring the club for the different positions. So about the mental skills, you got the composure, decisions of the ball, and work rate. More important of that is of the ball and composure. So the composure actually is very close to the finishing, and there is two stats that's interested about it. How is a player able for the finishing? So is the finishing is the technical skills of that. So composure is about how mental how mentality well is for that player to make in the finishing. So in some places, if you get it and not well composure, in some situations the player can be nervous and making not a well shot or something like that. So it's all about the mental skills, all about the psychology. So it's some kind of the psychology of the finishing for the forwards in that way. And another one thing is very important of the ball. So it's the stats for the showing up how the player is working without the ball, how he is able for the finding the place where he can get the best pass and making the, for example, the first touch shot, or the finding a place for the another going on attack. So it's very important thing for the attacking style players. And the physical, there is not a lot of the physical skills, and actually for the advanced forward is important showing up only the acceleration. But in that game is not always that things is working for. So the pace, I guess, it's pretty important too, in a way that acceleration is a time of the player that he will able for the gather his pace. So he started for the running on, and then he will gather in for the few seconds. So first few seconds actually is his acceleration, and the pace. This is his fastest speed that he is able for the running on. And it's also very important for the advanced forward, in a way that he's almost all the time he's trying to play on off the ball line, and trying to play in an offside trap, playing the best and win it, and finding a place for running out from the defenders. So we got it in. He will be running pretty well at pace and acceleration for the 16. For the Russian Premier League, it's brilliant. So it's pretty well. We got in the further small of our team, and he will be one of the best advanced forward. In a way, he's a Russian and finding a well playing on. So it's pretty well play, I guess, for us. Another one things we can looking for about and agility and balance. Yes, they're showing up like blue color, but they are still important in a way that also the dribbling. So the dribbling actually is a technical skill. How is the player able for they manipulate with the ball and running with the ball. So it's much important when you are getting the ball in your hands. You will be playing with a lower speed, in a way that you are needed to control the ball too. And how you will be playing with the ball. Actually, the agility and balance is got it in. More agility is connected with the dribbling. The balance actually is a little bit different thing. That it's reflects how well a player can stay on the feet both and off the ball. So yes, it's a pretty important tool in a way that you needed to making some moves, make some dribblings, and go out from the defender. So if the further smaller, it will be need to making his dribbling. Actually, he's not the best need. He's on the 11th pin, but his agility and balance will be helping him a little bit. If we'll be talking about a young player, for example, and see that his agility and balance is well about 13, but dribbling is 11, so it's we can thinking about that the dribbling actually can be reached a little bit higher. But for the 28 person, it's too low to talking about the trainings in that style for the physical for sure. And we got, but actually when we're talking about advanced forward, finishing, composure, and off-the-ball skills 15, 14, 14, and pace and acceleration 16 is one of the best actually for the Russian Premier League here. Yeah, we can find in sometimes the situations we get a very nice finishing, for example 17, but the pace and acceleration will be pretty low, about 5 or 7 or 10. It's not enough for the running out from the defender. Yeah, if you get in the well dribbling, maybe there's some situations he can play with the dribbling and go out from the defender, and sometimes he's not. But in a way, they get in the pace and acceleration. Sometimes that for the further smaller field, they don't need it to play with the dribbling. Actually, we can trying to find the player traits and train him some different things. For example, trying to put the ball well for the back of the player and running for it. Yeah, for example, or we can talking about the training about the tactics, how he will be playing on the offside trap and trying to work with that. So it's all about the statics of the game, and it's very important to looking for what exactly you got and what exactly you are playing for with players for, and what kind of the players is the best for them, the tactics you are playing for. So when you're coming for the new club, for example, as me, you almost needed to looking for what kind of the players you already got it on, and after that we are able for the looking for what we can make him for from that player, what kind of the tactics we can use him for, what kind of the game we'll be trying to make it on. It's all about that, I guess. So we understand that we got in the Fyodor Smolov, the very nice advanced forward for Russian Premier League. So we already got it, the one advanced forward and one playing our team in the first place, in the first team that we needed to come in on. Fyodor Smolov is one of the best. Let's look for another one. Grzegorz Krychowiak, a Polish player. He's on loan from the Paris Saint-Germain, and we're not playing at all for that player. So we needed to looking for. He's playing as a defensive midfielder. So there is some things about that how is it needed to play in on. But one thing we are needed looking for is the stamina, and the work rate is perfect. So you have a lot of the stamina and a work rate. Actually, those two stats are very close with each other. And we are talking about the work rate. It's all about how he will be working on the field, how many times he will be trying to going forward and backing forward again. So it's all about how he's mentally interested to playing a lot on the field and making a lot of the moves, making a lot of the things on the field. And the stamina is actually his physical stat, how he's able for the making it. And sometimes you can find the players when their walk rate is very high, but the stamina, for example, it can be the old players, the stamina is not. For example, for right now the walk rate is 15 and stamina can be, for example, 10 else. So if you get it, there's this big changing of the stamina and the walk rate. It's meaning that the player will be playing for the 90 minutes very hard, and for the some time of the game he will be very tired. And when the players are tired, he's needed to be the substitutions in a way that he will be playing not well. He will be playing not on his best conditions and not his best stats. So we can thinking about that maybe his stats will be going lower in while he will be more tired. So it's only for the you how you will be using those players, and you are needed to check it out that things. If you will be not thinking about that, yeah, sometimes you can use them for some kind of the tactics that no needed a lot of the physical conditions, but for example for the tiki-taka. But if you're trying to gang press or some kind of the high pressing style, you'll be timed pretty well, and you will go for the plan for this kind of the player only for the health of the match, I guess. For the Gregor Skrichowiak, we can talking about it. He's able for the fighting all the match along, and even after that he able for the coming for the training and playing for a little training, I guess. So he's pretty well about the stamina and very good about his walk rate. Another thing we got it on, he's very bravery. His aggression is pretty high, and his tackle is about 14. It's meaning that he's able for the getting ball back. He will be fighting and trying to bring the ball back. But another things we are looking for, he has also the well long shots, have a heading and jumping reach. When you get in this position, there will be some situation on the field, and it's very a lot of the times is going on when the defenders, for example, will be shutting out the ball, or the goalkeeper is making that set piece and they shut it out the ball for the field. So it's very important to have a very high player here with a nice jumping reach, who is able fighting for that ball and got it to win that air possession and making a pass for his closer opponent, his closer player of the team. So it's one of the things is also very nice for the players who's playing in midfield to get in the player pretty high about the jumping reach. Yeah, sometimes you can find in the high player, but the jumping reach will be not so well. It's also very important, and I think in the jumping reach is have a high position about his high or not the player is on. Is much important is his jumping reach. So in a way that plays running well, his pace and acceleration is normal, I guess, for the playing in the center. In that way he can play the segundo volante role, and also in his finishing not bad, and long shot is good, so he's able for running for even for coming for the box and trying to find his chances. It's a very important player, and I'm hoping we can find in how to use him for our team, and in a way that we are playing in League of Champions, we'll be trying to find in that player. And very important to his coming fast inside the team and understanding what exactly we are waiting from the team and the tactics, how we'll be trying to train in it, and how we'll be playing in it. Another one player, the Benedict Hovides, is a German player and pretty nice defender we are looking for. We are talking about the defenders. We are needed to talk about the heading, marking, and tackling skills. So yeah, the tackling skills actually is not so important maybe, and maybe in only some situations when the central defender is stand one-on-one for the player. Yes, and in that way, almost all the time the player will be trying to going through the defender to making a shot. So in that way, the player will be trying to go for some flank, and after that, it's can be very useful if the player got in the nice tackling skills. But it's not so important as the marking. And marking is the ability player to being close for the opponent team, opponent player, and not prevent the taking the pass. Yes, he in that way he's able for the making the interception of the ball, or making the pass, or making a shot out. It's all about that. So the marking is a very important of the defending in the center. It's much important than the tackling, but in some situations the tackling also can be important. So if you get in looking for the marking and tackling skills for the defender, it's better to find in the much marking skills. A heading. For about the heading, yes, sometimes you can find it. It's much important. The jumping range is for the central defender. They will be trying to making a crosses inside the box. It's very important about the jumping range, and after that, the heading, actually the technical skill. And it's important to head it out from the defense with a nice accuracy to get it in for your players. But sometimes in some situations it's have a not so kind of the importance, in the way there's still some kind of the variety where that ball will be going for other players near that player is ready for the taking that ball back, as able for the fighting for the ball. So it's all about that. So it's much more important to get in the jumping range. Maybe it's it's also important when the defenders and the central defenders is coming for the corners, in the way that almost all the time they are much highest players and getting the jumping range well. So they're almost coming for the corner kicks, and in that way he's able for the making the heading on and putting the ball inside the net easily, I guess. The much more important things, for the central defender here right now is looking for the positioning, and it's really important in a way that the player can be able not for example well marking, but when he understanding and getting a nice position on the field, and maybe here is the anticipation also important, in a way how he's able for the looking for and what's going on, what can be, what it will be for right now. Yes, so it's positioning, I think, yes, it's much important than anticipations, but I think the two styles are pretty close to each other. Anticipation is able for the positioning, I think they're much more important for the defending skills. Yeah, but actually maybe for when they playing with the ball, also to get it in on best place, to playing in defense in a way to control the ball, but actually is of the ball stats. So get it in a concentration also. Yes, it's still blue, but I can select here the bravery for the player in a central defense. It's much important the bravery got it on over the 10 points, in a way that will be lower the player can get in the jumping ratio in 20, but if he get in the bravery, for example, 8, in some situation he's sometimes will be not jumping on and fighting for the ball in the way that he is just not the brave. He's not able mentally to fighting for that ball. He's not so brave to risking on that his physical stats, I guess. So in that way, the bravery is very important when you're finding that pretty nice defenders looking for the brave too. So we got it on, and the concentration. A concentration is all the how the player is able for the play all the match on his best conditions. So the players with a nice concentration, for example, the 17 is a brilliant concentration for the Russian Premier League, and the Hovides is a pretty well concentrated player. He is able for the playing almost all the time, for the being sure he's doing well in all situations. But sometimes the concentration is lower of that, for the 10 or 12, even 12. After some time of the period of the game, a player will be not so concentrated and he can get a mistake, and this mistake can be even even at the goal, getting on in your gates. So it's pretty important to get it in about the concentration of the player. So I think it's all about statistics of the players, and I think it's already enough for the first video. We are already got it on that we are talking about the forward, the midfielder, and the defender. So in next video we'll be trying looking for all the players in our team, not so close, but we'll be trying to look for all of them, and maybe we'll be starting on for looking what kind of the tactics we can use for our team, and choosing the players on the field, looking for them, and finding the best way how they can communicate with each other and playing for. So thank you for looking for, and have whatever you have, the best for it, the best evening, morning, or whatever you like. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
I always tend to think my goals are beautiful goals. That is what I want, to score beautiful goals and create beautiful chances. Dimitar Berbatov.